where, what, how. Yes, so those are the questions to. So when you're doing a forensic investigation, when you are following up a forensic investigation, these are the answers that you should be looking for. Yes, first one is first thing that you should or you have to note down is you have to note down all the available information. Yes, so you have to have the answers to who does it belong to. Was there somebody who was this, do you think somebody is responsible for the particular incident that has happened? Does anybody have a motive? Yes, when did it happen, why did it happen, and what happened? So all these are the things that you have to be looking for. Answers to these questions is what you have to be looking for at the forensic site. Yes, so where did the failure takes place? When did the failure takes place? What exactly happened there? So the what they very specifically talk about is that what question, that answer should not be a single term but rather a brief description of what actually happened there. Yes, so he should be able to, the investigator should be able to give a brief description about what exactly has happened at that particular site. You cannot say, okay, the structure was having some, was there, that is why it failed. Distress means some no just, were not able to carry the load or the stresses. No, that is a short term, but you have to narrow it down. You have to talk, okay, this is what has happened. The connection between the beam and the column has failed in that particular steel structure because the bolt was not of the good quality. Or you can say that the steel that was used was not of the good quality. So when you provided more bolts also to it, then the amount of area that is required for assisting the load was very less, and as a result the structure has failed. Then again, the answer to the when, that is not that you should not only talking about the the date and the time, but exactly what could have happened, or that how was the weather condition, and all those details you have to give in order to for these. So elaborate answers should be there when you are giving. It should not be to the no single word or single, that should not be the kind of answers that you have to be giving. Yes, so as a forensic engineer you have to have answers for the where, when, what, how, who is responsible for that, was it done willfully like you said, or was it a process that just happened. Yes, so now it also gives you a certain list of important steps that you need to follow during a forensic investigation. So what are the steps that it talk about? There should always be a principal investigator. I hope you remember we discussed about this. Yes, in the when we were talking about how the civil engineering construction work is carried out, we discussed about this. Yes, so there should always be a principal investigator who will be acting independently in the investigation. Yes, then you should also have a set of people, engineers, a lot of people who will be assisting the principal investigator in doing the several investigations. Yes, and you have to take stock of this scene very quickly. Yes, investigate the failures, whatever has happened, because as time passes, the different all these the failures and the damage to the structures that can be destroyed, the evidences can be destroyed. So investigation has to be completed very quickly. Yes, then the examination of the site, the photographs, those are very important. Videos, photographs, drawings, sketches, all these need to be collected in as much quantity as possible. Yes, then what do? You have to collect samples from the if it is a steel sections, the RC sections, the core samples that need to be collected. Yes, steel reinforcement means the whatever. If it is a steel section, you will be collecting the bolts and the nuts, and all these you will be taking it to the laboratory. You will be doing an investigation, you will be studying it. Yes, whether they satisfy, whether the purpose, the intended purpose was satisfied or not. So that is what we will be looking at it. Yes, whether the strength that was mentioned is actually there, or whether low quality material was used. So all these aspects need to be conducted. Then another thing that you, as a forensic engineer, that we need to do is eyewitness interview. Yes, so that also I told you, as the time progresses, the perception of the people will also vary. So those people who are at the site, those who have been working on the site, their perception may be the correct one, but still as the time passes, they will also have, the perception will vary, and it may not be but still we do need to collect all these information. The eyewitness information is also required. Yes, then the structural design, we have analysis tools right now, softwares we can model the structure in the softwares, and we can apply the load, and we can have a comparison by giving all the material properties that we have of all the things that we have tested. We can do a comparison, and we can check whether you can even you can visualize the failure, or you can apply the loading and see how the failure is happening in the software, and that can be compared with what exactly happened at the site. Yes, so that comparison is also possible there. Yes, and then you have to submit the written report. So if you have gone through that video that I shared with you regarding the bridge failure, Miami bridge failure in Florida, for the university pedestrian bridge, you would have seen that there have been people who have been doing the analysis on what exactly happened there, and how they have used the software in order to analyze it, and how they have come to the conclusion of what had happened there with the failure picture, the pictures that were taken just before the collapse of the structure. Yes, so that analysis they were able to compare. Yes, now what does the paper recommend about the how do you report the findings? What is the format that needs to be followed? Yes, what are the things that you need to keep in mind while documenting the structural failures? Hmm? Yes, the article, that the page number 16, if you look at it, it gives you a certain recommended checklist for investigating and documenting failures. I don't know how many of you are able to see it right now. I will share my screen, and then we can have, yeah. So these are the checklists that we have been talking about. Yes, they have to be. So these are the things that you can keep as a reference when doing a failure investigation. Yes, so that gives you a guidelines, or helps a forensic engineer to prepare, to make a plan and prepare the investigation, execute the investigation, and get the sufficient information. Yes, so what does it talk about? The principal investigator, then is whether the people are available, then what does it should, whether you are getting somebody as a consultant in order to do your analysis. Yes, and what is the site examination? Have you done the examination? Have you collected the required amount of taken the photographs before all the evidence is lost? Have you visually observed the site? Have you done the taken all the investigation details, the geotechnical investigation details and other things? Have you gone through all the drawings and the sketches? Then the eyewitness accounts, whether they have been properly recorded, and then whatever samples you need from the site, they have to be collected before everything is, the debris is cleared. So whether the sufficient amount of samples have been collected. So that is one thing that you will have to make a note of. I need samples from these things. So whether all that has been collected, properly done, and then they have been sent to the laboratory for further testing. So all the processes have to be completed, that has to be verified, and only then the site can be cleared of all the debris and everything. Yes. So you have to collect all the data, tag them, send them to the laboratory. Then whether all the safety, and before you go into this one, all the safety procedures, everything has been, is it been put in place? So and then finally you have to look at whether everything is sufficient for you to prepare a report, and how should your report be, and that. So all these things, every aspect has to come into that report that you are preparing. Yes. So what is the so what did they conclude, or what did they say should be incorporated in the investigation? What was the conclusion of the study? That so based on the investigation, this is purely for the work that is done by OSHA. So that the work of a forensic investigation that was done by OSHA were analyzed, and what is the recommendations that different organizations that are there, they have to put in more effort in order to document the things properly. Yes. So documentation is very, very important. And why is that documentation important? Because that is what enables us to, that is what that serves as a process, or that enables the prevention of further failures, or it is always a reference of what not to do. So that is why the documentation process should be very good. Also, whatever thing, that case studies, whatever we have, everything has to be properly documented. So that is the recommendation of the authors regarding the failures. So what are the different things that that we can take away from here? What are the steps to be kept in mind while following a while doing a forensic investigations? What are the checklists that we have to keep in mind? Yes. And what all things we need to, or what are the answers that we have to look for when we are doing a forensic investigation? So what are that will enable us to know what are the things that we have to keep in mind, what are the things we have to look for while doing an investigation at that particular site. So those are the things that we need to keep in mind while doing the work. Yes, forensic investigation. Now, so I want you to make a note of this and upload it for next class. Okay. So your brief fine. What is the recommendations? That is, what are the important steps that the paper says that you need to follow while doing a forensic investigation, and what are the formats that, or what are the things that you have to incorporate into a report. So this forms the this is the general, that recommended format for reporting. That is the things that you have to incorporate into your forensic investigation report. Okay, so we will that is the things that we will have to include it in the report. So this is an important aspect for report writing of a forensic engineering program. Yes. Then what are the checklist for investigating and documenting structural failures? So when you are investigating and documenting structural failures, what all things you should keep in mind? What all things that you have to keep in mind? What all things you have to look for? So these things you have to make a brief note, and prepare an article, prepare a small write-up about what are the things that what is the how a report and how the document should be prepared, and what are the things as a forensic engineer you will be looking for at the site. Yes. Now I'll share a video with you. I don't think you have looked at it, so I will share it now. I can go through it and listen to it. Is it audible to you? Is it streaming to you?
Yes, ma'am.
these are things that we discussed initially in our first unit. Yes. So forensic engineering, it's investigation of a failure of materials, products, structures, components, anything. So the what that forensic investigation takes precedence because it is dealt with law. The law comes into place here. Yes. Mm. So this is again that pedestrian bridge that we have been discussing about. So why are buildings failing? That is what we have the discussion here. So how can can the structures fail? It may be because of the design, or it may be because of the construction process, the materials that has been used. Yes, poor quality materials, or it may have also be because the maintenance and the operation process was not done properly, or it may be because the loading, what predicted and what actually developed, what actually was acting on the building was varied, and or also the basic failure patterns. Yes.
மேம் யூடியூப் சவுண்ட் வரல மேம்.
Yes.
வீடியோ சவுண்ட் வரல மேம்.
வரலையா? Now.
We never
Yes, ma'am.
thought like in 2004 tsunami came. Most of the structure which has been used in during the last 30, 40 years collapsed. What happened? Life, litigation, abandoning, property loss, delay and extra costs are some of the results of the. Let me come up with this auditorium which was almost completed. Only the remaining was the main truss. While this main truss was fabricating, it came down. You will see the photograph. This is how the final stage of the building. Right? So this is the part that remained for contractors to finish. the truss system, right? This is the final truss. While keeping these main trusses, when you come to this level, it came down as you, this is the tail truss, so it came down.
So this is during the construction phase itself. It's an auditorium building, and they were constructing, the truss. There was just one small part that needed to be erected, but then the entire structure collapsed. Yes. So also.
Then the client wanted to know why it came down, who should be responsible. This is where they came to us. So what we as a forensic engineers, the number one thing that as soon as we heard it, we try to gather almost all the information, all the records, all the logbooks, and the drawings, photographs, evidence of each and every, because the time the start of the investigation, we don't know which direction this might go. Therefore, sometimes we get the thousands of photographs. By that time, we don't know which photograph is more important than other. Therefore, we try to record it. Because what happened is, if you delay day by day, evidence will be changed. Even the
as the day progresses, the evidence is changing. That is why in the initial phase itself, that recording of the site as it is and maximum photograph, detail by detail photograph, that is important. Okay. So that is why we have all of the fifth unit related to photography and how to read the data from the photogrammetry, how photogrammetry is applied in this field in order to gather evidence from the photographs. Yes, so this forensic engineer is giving you that clear idea of how what is the importance of photograph at that particular
photographs evidence, everything will be changed. Even the people will tell something else if you delay 1 day. But even though we know some people are not telling the truth, but still we record it. So these are very, very important when you go to the conclusion. One word, one document may whole change the conclusion. So this is how, fortunately nobody died.
See how
general conclusion.
Yes, it has even that dump truck itself was damaged in the process. Yes, so that is how heavy our steel sections are. So one basic where lies the fault, that is something that we have to find out. Was the material faulty, or was the construction method faulty, or was what was it that led to the collapse there?
As soon as somebody says that it is a contractor's fault, this is what everybody says. So this is but why forensic, how the welding has been done. When you look into the truss, same truss. So this is how, fortunately I am taking it. Cable used to prevent the wobbling, they had not been very effective. Then when the particular truss was put in place, wobbling was very noticeable. But they try to anyhow finish the job. And same truss, in order to connect with the hub, they have to release the train little bit. At that time, a belt has snapped. Then the whole truss system came down, as you see.
Actually, the cranes were used to lift the truss and put them in the place. Yes, and how do the cranes they were using the belts, and you can see here the belts. It is connecting. That is these are connected to the truss system, and then that is how it is being lifted and put in place. But because that there was some amount of wobbling, that is the steel sections were not stable enough during the process of placing them in position, and when the last truss was again put in place, there was a huge amount of wobbling that was observed. Also, during the process of construction, what happened? This belt has snapped or it has broken down. So as a result of it, the entire thing has come down.
This is the, in general, what has happened. So then when you look into the, as the truss is now right bottom, we just investigate how the workmanship, you might see, I don't have to explain, when you look at this one, this is, should not be the way of doing the well.
Okay, so again the workmanship is also, you see these, you observe these,
With the
here
hub,
if you look
they have
at
to
it,
release
you
the
can see those bolts
train
are not
little bit.
actually,
At
the
that
bolts
time,
are not actually,
belt
holes
has
are not of proper
when the
sizes,
whole
they are not
truss
in
system came down
line.
as you see.
So all
This
these
is the,
things affects the
in
load
general,
carrying
what has
capacity
happened.
of a truss.
So
Yes,
then when you
see
look
it is
into
not,
the,
see it
as
is
the
not
truss is now
matching. Look
right
at the
bottom,
variations
we
in the
just
spacings in the
investigate
bolt
how
holes.
the workmanship,
Yes,
you might
so
see, I don't
then
have to
see here
explain, when
the
you look
shape
at this
of the
one,
bolt toes. It
this
is
is,
not something that
should
has
not
been
be the
done
way of
properly.
doing the welding
Weld,
and bolt
it
and
is
all
not
this.
done properly, the
This
weld.
is the
See
situation.
here the cut for the cleat angle. It is not a
Poor
proper
workmanship.
cut.
So you see the, how the welding has been done in the,
See the reinforcement
in a
here.
way it's fortunate this came down, otherwise it would have come during the, I don't have to explain, when you look at this one, this is, should not be the way of doing the welding and bolt and all the rest of it. You see the situation. You see the situation. Poor workmanship. So you see the, how the welding has been
This
done
is
in
the
the,
connection, welding connection.
in a way it's fortunate this came down, otherwise it would have come during the big concert or something like that. So finally the reason that we concluded is the not enough supports, unsymmetric support, though there are two supports, poor workmanship. Consultants labs are not clear, instruction has been given, though this everything has happening in the sites, but you never find any clear instruction is given. They might have given verbally, but nothing in record or logbook, anything. No report on the poor quality. We see now there are a lot of poor qualities of the work, very dangerous one. When the payment has been approved about a week before. Once the payment is approved by the consultant, basically he is giving the message to the client, owner, that he is doing a good job, you pay the money. This is the very changing situation. So this is finally, it has been there like as it is, 8 years, but a few years before it has been changed, the trust and everything else. Now it is functioning as the Mahinda Rajapaksa auditorium. They are in Kandy, Polgol, Banyan provide.
Okay, so that is how you have to do assess. You have to observe everything carefully, and you have to assess what exactly has happened at that particular point site. Yes. So also the materials. How did they arrive at the conclusion that the materials are not of the good quality, or it was not reported that the workmanship is poor, or the steel that was used as not of the good quality? How can you arrive at that conclusion? Hmm? How do you arrive at such a conclusion? He has given you certain conclusions, how they have concluded the study. So how can you arrive at such a conclusion? What do you need to do? Yes? What is it that you need to do? Find out and let
Ma'am,
me
your
know.
voice is breaking, ma'am.
My voice is breaking. Okay. My question was, how do you arrive at the conclusion that the material was all not of the good quality? How will you, as a forensic engineer, how will you ensure the quality of the material that was used at the site is good? Is my question.
Ma'am, color of the material, ma'am. Color difference.
Color difference. Then color difference. steel is rusted, okay, you can say it has rusting has started, corrosion has started, so or something you can say. But what else? How do you know the color difference in other materials, concrete and all that? What? How can you know? How do you understand the quality of the material that is used? After going through all these case studies, we have come to this blank situation. Hmm? Very well. How do you arrive at the conclusion the material that has been used is of a good quality or not?
Ma'am, by taking soundness test for bricks, ma'am.
For bricks, you do soundness. So you have to check the quality of the material. So you are collecting the samples from the field. You are sending these samples to the laboratory in order to do the testing. For steel, how do you do the tensile test? A bolt, you do the test on the bolts. So that is how you come at the conclusion that the material that you have been used is of the good quality or not. Yes, poor workmanship is visible to you at the site. You have seen the kind of work that they have done with the trusses. Yes, the cutting of the steel sections and the cleat angles that have been provided. Look at the quality of the steel that has been used there. Yes, the thickness of the sections, everything matters. Yes, so everything has to be properly analyzed and then the results have to be properly documented. So that is finally, and by studying the material properties in the laboratory, you are able to arrive at a conclusion that okay, the material supplied was not of the good quality. Yes, then observing the workmanship from the photographs and from your observation at the site, you can say the workmanship is poor. Yes, so that is how they have coming to the conclusion, because one, you have to come to the conclusion and you have to make the report and submit it in the court of law. That is the duty of a forensic engineer, right? So that is why you have to make a thorough investigation. Okay, I'll wind up for today. I've taken your break time also. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I'll wind up for now, and please go through. I'll be sharing this